Going to the game, I'm going to be playing Nilah jungle and show you why she's the strongest ADC jungler right now. In this matchup, we're currently up against Xin Zhao, and in a Nilah versus Xin Zhao, when it comes to the early game, this is obviously favored for Xin Zhao because it's his specialty, having better ganks as well as dual potential. But once we get to the late game, even though Nilah's early game is not that strong, she has hard scaling in her kit, wherein once she gets her items, then definitely we would have the upper hand in the matchup and could possibly carry the game by ourselves. What's good about the Nilah Xin Zhao matchup is that you have your second skill in order to dodge the Xin Zhao burst. If you time it properly with Xin Zhao's Q, then you shouldn't get knocked up anytime soon. The clear that I'm doing is our red side clear into a full clear because as a scaling jungler, you just want to get your items as soon as possible. What's good about a red side start is that there's a high chance that we would be able to dodge the Xin Zhao matchup because what aggressive junglers like to do is start at their own red path towards the bot lane. So, if we path towards the opposite side, which is the top side, then there's a high chance that we won't meet the Xin Zhao anytime soon. Worst case scenario, if they're junglers at the top side, then we can just give the scuttle and keep farming our camps. We pop the scrying to know where the Xin Zhao started. As expected, he's at the red side, and then maybe he can go for a gank top or even top scut. After clearing the raptors, I placed 2 points in queue because this would allow me to clear the camps faster, and unfortunately, Xin Zhao's there at the top side. I tried to sneak the scuttler, but Xin Zhao knows that I'm there. Knowing that I have no way of winning the 1v1, I ping my team to help and wait for him to use his Q before going in. Even though I don't have my second skill yet, Shen is able to arrive on time, perfect timing, really good taunt, and we get the first blood. One tip I can give you is that even though you don't have the winning matchup, if your lanes have priority, then you could definitely still contest the Scuttle Crab. Gwen goes for our Shen on the top side, so we have to help, getting him pretty low. Flash in, EQ, W, but unfortunately, we did not reach her. At least, we're able to get a 1-for-1 trade, and in reality, this is good for us because we're able to get another kill, which would accelerate our gold even faster. Shen dies, but it's fine since he's a tank. He does not need that much gold. His job is just to hold the lane and ulti into a team fight. With all that's happened, we go back to our jungle and continue farming our camps. Nilah jungle clear is not that fast, but once you get items, it will get a lot faster from where we are right now. When clearing with jungle Nilah, my favorite thing to do, even in the team fights, is always combining the third skill plus first skill. This would guarantee an auto attack proc on your Q, giving you AoE damage. It's super important that you always hit your Q, especially in the team fights, so you get the added damage effect. AoE damage is also good, and another thing to note about playing Nilah is that your second skill can give you an auto attack reset. Shen dies again, so we try to see if we can catch the Gwen, who is a bit overextended, but since we haven't gotten back to base yet and Gwen knows that I'm there, we have no choice but to go back to base. In this situation, I usually buy the lifesteal boots, but since we had a great start, we go straight for the collector, increasing our damage. Collector is really good on Nilah early because this gives us more damage, and as you could see, their Xin Zhao stole our raptors, but it's fine because what's important is that we're able to get early kills. The last thing that we want to happen is to get behind when playing Nilah jungle. Since we are scaling, it's gonna be pretty hard for us to get back into the game. After clearing the Krugs, I have ultimate, which will make my ganks a bit better. Even though I don't have much damage yet, this is still very much playable. With all of the camps down, we go back to our base, buy boots to give us a bit of move speed. Shen dies again, but at least Katarina, good job on the rotation, getting a counter kill. As long as our carries are getting kills, then it's fine for me that Shen dies. Unfortunately, Xin Zhao catches our Katarina on the top side, and there's no trade that happens. With our mid laner dead, we have no choice but to cover mid. Try to see if we can damage the Vlad, but I know it's warded, so we just go for the clear instead. Last hit the minions while waiting for the objectives to spawn. And another tip that I can give you is that when you play late game junglers, it's always best to start the Herald because this will give you more gold and map pressure rather than getting the first dragon and contesting this. After clearing the Gromp, we're gonna position ourselves to get the Herald, and I will assume that their jungler is at the bot side since we have no vision of him right now. We see him going bot, and this is good for us because you always want to go for a trade when you're playing scaling junglers. Katarina dies, which is not good, and Gwen is gonna come to contest, knowing that she has some kills from the early game. We try to go for the turn, but we have no damage. We don't have enough. So we have to just take the Herald and immediately flash out. Our Q misses, very unfortunate, but at least we're able to take the Herald and Shen is able to get a kill. With us getting Herald, we're gonna be able to use this to push a lane, get plates, and get gold as well. Bot lane, clutch ulti by the Lulu. I think they're gonna be able to punish the Jinx Janna, and that is good. Katarina coming in as well, and with this, we're able to complete our Gluttonous Boots, which would increase our damage and give us lifesteal. Going back to the jungle, we clear our camps. Always want to focus on clearing our camps before doing anything else in the map. The next thing that I'm gonna do is look for a Herald play on the mid lane so that we could get some plates or even take the first tower. Best case scenario is that we're able to get the first blood tower. Luckily, no one's there to defend and we get this for free. Sinjao Vlad at the side, but it's too late for them to protect their tower. And with that, we go back to our jungle yet again and clear our minions. With a collector and Gluttonous Boots, we're able to farm our jungle pretty quickly. The only thing that's not going too well right now is the Shen getting solo killed every fight. And it's okay if Shen dies, but the problem is, it's that he's dying to Gwen, who is another late game scaling champion. So even though we have monster scaling with our kit, Gwen also has the same spot as us. So in turn, this should be Vladimir, Gwen, and Jinx, 3 monster late game champions. It's gonna be hard if the game goes on. Luckily, we have Zeri Lulu, who's also good at scaling, and Katarina needs to get a reset in order to become useful. With all that's happened, there's no lane that I can gank, so I just go back to my farm and start clearing the Gromp. After taking this, there's no more camp, so we go back and buy our next item. As much as I'd like to help mid, there's no way that we can defend against 3 members, having no wave clear. So we just go back to base, and here, we go to the bot side, knowing that they're gonna go for a dive. We can possibly go for a punish if they overextend. Unfortunately, Lulu gets caught, and we're positioning ourselves. Katarina goes in with the Shen ulti. I are in, then catch the Lulu Janna out of position. Really good play. Get double kill, and that's another good thing about Nilah jungle. You don't only deal damage, you also have playmaking ability, timing your ultimate perfectly for the CC. So that's another trick you can do with Nilah. You don't have to flash in and ult. You can ult first before flashing in so that you could use it on the pull animation. With all that's done, we get another 2 kills. This is really good for us, and then we clear our camps yet again. Always have your Q and E up so you can use together in order to become more efficient. BT is now up, so that's something that we can go for, but since Raptors is still there, we just go and clear this first so that it would respond faster. So what you can see here, I always use an auto attack before W, giving me a double strike. Essentially a double strike, which will be a lot more useful later on once we get more items. What's another good thing about Nilah is that the more crit you get, the more armor pen you have. So even though the opponents have armor boots, we can still deal some damage. Unfortunately, Katarina dies, everyone is dying to Gwen top, and that's not something that I want to see. As much as I want to go back, I see that bot lane is getting pushed for free. We poke the Vlad a bit, but once their members arrive, we have no choice but to give the tower. When playing Nilah, you have to play selfish and look for ways to farm and scale up as fast as possible. Unlike other junglers like Vi Lee Sin, where you always look for a fight, with Nilah, you always look for ways to farm. Bloodthirster is now up, giving me more lifesteal and a bit of attack speed. This is really good for our sustain. And with the dragon up, Shen has ulti, so this is gonna be a 4v5. Our smite to get the last hit. Perfect combination of our skills, and our teammates just go for the clean up. We instantly win the team fight. The only issue in their team is Gwen, so if Gwen is not there, then we should definitely win all of the fights that happen. With our Gwen pushing topside and 4 of their members down, we should be able to get this mid tower for free. So we do some counter jungling first. 2v1 at the top side. They're able to take down the Gwen, and this is good. We can probably take the inhibitor as well, but we'll just play it a bit safe and steal their jungle camps instead. Xin Zhao jungle is now outskilled at this point, and we definitely now have the matchup advantage. We take the Raptors plus the Krugs. I wanted to check if I can take red, but it's gonna be very risky, especially since I have no backup. He goes in, and second skill just cancels all of Xin Zhao's damage. He still has some damage, but we just burst him right there. With 2 items, we already have the winning matchup. I check his items though, why he dealt some damage, and he actually went pure AD with a Triforce Collector. IE is now up, but of course, you want to clear your camps before buying this item, especially since there's no objectives that's gonna spawn yet. You could also go for the Mortal Reminder if they have a lot of armor, but in this case, since they're all quite squishy, IE is a great item to go for. Despite having a great lead, we only have 760 gold, and this is due to the fact that their Gwen is also having a crazy early game. Both of us have 11k gold, which is 1k gold per minute. So this is gonna come to who's able to carry harder, whether it's gonna be me or the Gwen. Both monster scaling, so we need to have really good positioning. The last thing that we want is to get caught out of position. Baron spawning soon, that's something we can possibly take, but in our position right now, it's gonna be very risky. We wanna get a catch first into someone. Gwen, Xin Zhao, looking to go to the Baron. We go for the Xin Zhao. Look at the damage, 400 crit. We immediately burst him. Shen ulti, and I don't know what happened. Lulu was right beside me. She had ulti, shield, and heal. Didn't use anything, and we could have lived that fight. Unfortunate. We give Gwen a shutdown, which is not the best thing that can happen. We buy Zhonya right after. At least with their jungler down, they have no way of getting the Baron buff. Shen having a bad game, but it's fine. All he needs to do is press ult and go for the carries, either me, Katarina, or the Zeri. So far, close game despite having a 6 skill advantage. This is still anyone's game because both teams have really good scaling champions. We go back to our red buff and continue our clear while waiting for the objective to spawn. I'm thinking of a way how to get Gwen. The only way I can think of is going for a 2 or 3 man gank. It's gonna be pretty risky if I go 1v1 the Gwen. We have to play really well in order to burst him fast. As the game goes on, both teams are comfortable with scaling. Red side with Jinx, Vlad, and Gwen, while blue side having Nilah, Zeri, Lulu. Baron is up, so we place a control ward just in case, and with the fight happening in the mid lane, we're there to flank. If we can catch the Jinx, this would be perfect. Third skill, look for someone to catch. We get the Gwen instead. Look at the damage that we're dealing, but she also deals so much damage, so I have no choice but to use my Zhonya. At least we got a collector kill, and overall, I'll take it as a win because I just 2v1 both of their carries, and this resulted us winning the team fight. Zari popping off, 1-for-5 exchange, and this is a really good fight. We just zoned off the Gwen plus Zeri, getting a 1-for-1 trade, which is the best case scenario for this game. We take down the inhibitor tower, look to go for the Nexus, but since there's no more creeps and the opponents are spawning soon, we just want to take the free dragon for ourselves. Dragon, despite being weaker, still helps. Every bit of damage, especially with Nilah, since we're building pure AD, this would increase our burst damage. What's good about Nilah in the late game is that once you get 3 items, which I have right now, our damage will be so strong The only thing we need is good positioning. Xin Zhao dies yet again, and this is good because there's a possibility that we can get Baron with the opponents having no jungler. We look to see if we can catch anyone. Go for the blue buff instead, and look at my crit. 738 crit every hit. This is gonna be even higher when I start hitting the enemy champions. Our Baron take is quite fast with Zeri plus Nilah. The only issue is that Vladimir Gwen is also strong at contesting this objective. We play it a bit safe, and what we can do here is start the Baron and look for a turn. While their jungle is still down, we can try to catch someone out of position. Gwen goes in, the strongest member of their team, try to do some damage, but yeah, she just runs away, super durable, and their Vlad is popping off. So at this point, Gwen is not the only one I have to worry about. The Vlad is also someone that I want to take down. We get a bunch of lifesteal, get our HP back up. We're the only ones alive right now. If we died there, maybe they could just go straight for the end. Mortal Reminder is now up. This would give me anti-healing since their Gwen has annoying sustain. She's trying to go for her tower. I'm just waiting for my first kill. Go for the Gwen 1v1. Sidestep the Q ult and we just take her down. Look at my damage on the Janna. One hit. Literally one bar. But even though we take down the Gwen, they're able to get Inhibitor plus Baron, which is not the best thing to happen. At least the game doesn't end right there. And another good thing about Nilah is that even though you get poked, all you need to do is farm one camp or even one wave and you get all of your HP back. Really insane lifesteal with this champion. We just need to get good positioning, catch a lot of people with our ult, and just whack away. We also have second skill in order to fight the Jinx when it comes to the 1v1 situation. Baron spawning, and since the opponents have Baron, we want to farm up while waiting for the Elder to spawn. Last item I'm gonna go for is GA. This would give me a second life, even if I get bursted for some random reason. At least GA is there to help me get back up. We try to look if someone's gonna face check, but with the scrying, unfortunate, we just go back and farm our camps yet again. What I want to do here is try to catch the Gwen and Vladimir at the same time with my ult, and then I can just burst someone with just my auto attacks. All you need to do with Nilah is at the late game is spam your EQ and auto attack the squishy targets. Even at this point, the tankier targets are very weak against Nilah with double armor penetration, mortal reminder, plus her passive. If Gwen goes down, this is gonna be huge, but oh my god, our Shen just got outplayed. Vlad is going for our Zeri, who's gotten really low, so we have no choice but to help her. Nice polymorph plus stun. We take down the Vlad, but with the Elder up, they're obviously gonna rush it, so we have to run towards that. Zeri though, getting a kill onto the Gwen would be good. Takes her down, and here, we can go for a R-Smite, but there's a random Jinx trap I did not see, and they get Elder, very unfortunate. But here, as soon as I see them flash in, we go for the immediate punish, second skill, ulti, and burst them in just one combo. This is the power of Nilah. If we get a good ulti, just one combo and they just die. We have 800 damage per hit. Their carry is about 2000 HP, so that means that we just need about 3 to 4 hits to be able to burst them down. With that, we get the win. Pretty close game. Scary one as well since they have a lot of scaling, but in the end, we get the win. 89% Nilah in Grandmaster. We get MVP. 11, 3, and 8 with 30k damage dealt. And looking at the runes, 1.6k Giant Slayer. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed our Nilah jungle. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Peace out. Ciao, ciao. Bye.